Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here in episode 2513 of the Cabral Concept. This is our Friday review of the week. Each and every Friday, I'm bringing you essentially a favorite product of mine. I absolutely love the health and wellness and health tech-based space. So I'm always trying to share with you a lot of the different things that I'm experimenting with so that I can share the best ones. And so I experiment with at least 5x the number of products that I actually bring you on these Friday reviews so that you have hopefully a trusted source that's able to just share things that I'm actually using myself. Or a lot of the times that it's people that have direct messaged me and said, hey, you have to check out this product. And I do feel it's a part of my job to be able to keep up with the industry, share only the best things with you, because of course, I don't want you investing your hard-earned dollars into something that I just think is going to be replaced in a few months from now or just isn't the best in the industry. So I try to bring you the best of the best. Looking forward to sharing with you a brand new standing desk that I use every single day now inside of my overall work-based environment. So I want to share that with you. That is super exciting because I always love a different setup, especially one that's going to make me a little bit more active. So I'll give you the desk that I decided on, why I chose this one specifically, and really how it's working out because I've never used a stand-up desk before. I've got a really great study for you that I want you to check out, research based on epigenetics and how it's actually linked to specific types of movement. So that'll be a fun one to go through. I've got another one that, again, this has been taught since Ayurvedic times, but even more than Ayurveda in traditional Chinese medicine. And they always talked about why you really don't want to get a chill or get cold or whatever it might be. And it's simply, this is one that I want to share with people that are doing a lot of cold plunges because I'm not against cold water therapy at all. I've done many podcasts on it, but you have to be careful about getting into chill because it can backfire on you. So I want to share that with you too. Of course, we have our podcast recap of the week and always so much more. So let's dive into the show. We're getting started with the updates for the week. I always love giving you some of my personal updates. Maybe you're into it, maybe you're not. That's okay. I know we all have so much going on in our life. I totally get it. But for me, this is a super special time of the year. Christmas is, if not my favorite holiday, one of my favorite holidays. It always brings me back to being a kid. And especially now with my two daughters, they're starting to get a little bit older as well. You know, Christmas will eventually take on a little bit different meaning in the future. But I love being able to just spend that really great quality time with them. I'll be back up north hanging out with my family. I'll be with my two brothers, my sister, my parents, my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-laws, all of my in-laws, my parents. Like it's a great time. We do a lot of family-based activities. And of course, I'll be in the great state of Maine. So Maine during the winter, there's not a whole lot like it. It is the frozen tundra for sure. And I don't mind it. I really don't. I've never mind the cold. And I very much enjoy the wilderness aspect of it. So I'll be up there enjoying, relaxing, and I'll be doing that right through the new year. So for me, it's always the same. Like around the holidays, it's about spending time with family. But also, I still like to wake up early. And what am I doing when I'm waking up early? I'm reading, I'm visualizing, I'm goal setting, I'm journaling, I'm just letting my mind wander and not limiting myself for what this next coming year will bring. And I want you to do the same. I just think that everyone else, the whole world, social media, like everybody tries to limit us and limit our beliefs as to what's possible. Don't be one of those people. I mean, if you don't allow your mind to wander, if you don't allow yourself to dream big, then who's going to? Like, that's it. We have to be our own advocates. So big fan. Don't put a governor on your actual mindset and just allow yourself to have fun. You don't even have to believe it all right away. Just say, what if, right? What if I was able to do this? What would I love to be doing right now? And I really enjoy looking at that in all aspects of my life. So definitely check out the Monday shows for that. If you want a little bit more of a step-by-step, I'll share that in just a moment as well. Going on over at EquiLife right now, you don't want to miss this. I mean, this is super important. It is the Big 5 labs. This literally only happens a couple times a year. And the Big 5 labs, so those are always around $2,500. Like if you were to price out all of those labs, they're super important, right? These labs are literally the labs that tell you your gut function, some of your neurotransmitters, mitochondria, your food sensitivities, what else? Your bacteria, your candida. It even looked at back end markers from mold. It looks at heavy metals. It looks at vitamins and minerals. So like all of these things. And so it literally gives you all of the underlying root causes as to why you might be dealing with wellness issues, weight issues, aging-based issues, et cetera. So it's how everyone gets well. There's not a secret. You need to find out what your deficiencies are, vitamins, minerals, omegas, etc., and then what your toxicities are, candida, bacterial overgrowth, what else? Heavy metals, etc., right? Like omega-6s, and you need to remove the toxicities and build up the deficiencies. Well, how do you do that? Like, again, I would love for someone to tell me that. How do you do that if you've never found out what they are? Now, you can go to stevencabral.com/assessments and go through assessments, yes. But if you're able to invest in the Big Five, that comes with a 90-minute call that walks you through what your results mean, and that also gives you the plan in order to rebalance your body, there's nothing better. Like, I would not have gotten well without at-home lab testing, which is exactly why I do what I do today, right? There's a whole lot of easier jobs in the world than basically forensic case studies on what's going on inside of the human body, but I love it. I do. I will never stop doing what I do. And I want to share that with you. So what we do at EquiLife during this time of the year, before the new year, is to get people those Big Five. So we're offering you more than $1,000 off the Big Five. They're actually $995 right now. And to say that that is an insane price, it is an insane price. Like EquiLife, there's no margin, like whatsoever. Like we'll put it this way. We're doing this because we want to help people. This is not a business growth-based thing with these labs. It's not. It's like, how can we get the thing that helped me and millions of other people into as many people's hands as possible? So this is the week that we do it. And then starting right after this, please do keep in mind, we're still going to give a discount on the Big Five, but it is going to be $14.99, which is what the price has always been, except for the last couple of months. We've been trying to help people with that at $12.99. The price for the Big Five goes back up to $14.99. It's still about $1,000 off everyday price. It's great. But if possible, save an extra $500 this week and grab your Big Five just by going to stevencabral.com/Big Five or stevencabral.com/labs, because we're also going to be offering deals, meaning dollars off all labs at stevencabral.com/shop. I mean, that's the easiest place. stevencabral.com/shop. That'll take you over to EquiLife. You'll get the $500 off, excuse me, the Big Five, the extra 500, and you'll get probably $100+ off a lot of the other base labs as well. So definitely check that out. stevencabral.com/shop. That'll take you right over to EquiLife. All right, little podcast recap for the week. So we are looking at episode 2509. That was the Monday show this week. And that is, if you are interested in improving your relationships, spirituality, your body transformation, your health, your overall career, wealth, etc., definitely check out that show. Because although I'm not an expert in really any of those areas except health and body transformation, what I do is I share with you how to develop a plan in order to become successful in any of those areas. Because the plan that makes you successful with your health or body transformation is the same plan that can make you successful in any area of your life. It just is applied differently. Please do check out that show. That's episode 2509. And then this coming Monday, in just a couple days from now, if you're listening to the show live on Friday, will actually be part 2, which is how to implement it, which is just as important, into your everyday schedule. So I would love you to check out both of those. That would be fantastic. All right. So Tuesday show. This show was a little bit of a rant. I'm not going to sugarcoat it whatsoever. It's just this whole thing that you can eat as much butter, eggs, and red meat as you want, and it's going to be totally fine. And it's not. Like, I just want to share that with people. I have no problem with butter, meat, or eggs whatsoever. Do I think that you can eat them in unlimited quantity and still be healthy? No. Do I think you can do it in your 20s and be healthy? Sure. You continue on with that? Not so much. And I just lay out for you the difference between butter, meat, and eggs, quantity-wise as well as quality-wise 100 years ago. We're trying to compare ourselves to our great-grandparents or grandparents. We have to be careful with those assumptions that the soil is the same, the animals are the same, because they're not. And also the quantity. So again, I break that down in that show. If you want to learn more about it and just, again, the unbiased look at it, like, again, I have no problem with butter, meat, and eggs, but let's not go overboard here, which then becomes detrimental, right? Okay. So on Wednesday's show, this was a show that honestly, to this day, I keep saying I can't believe it. But the research is irrefutable, and I give you about a half a dozen studies on it. Mouthwash causes diabetes and high blood pressure. All right. Do I think it's the only thing that causes diabetes and high blood pressure? Of course not. But you have to check out this research. I couldn't believe it when I first read it. So I said, I'm not going to share this until I go deeper. And I did. And it turns out it wasn't just diabetes, it's high blood pressure as well. It's unbelievable. So please do check that out. All of these shows can be found at stephencabral.com/podcasts. That specifically is 2511. 2512, should you skip breakfast or dinner? The surprising answer. And again, it's all research-based. You have to understand is that I'm on the same journey you are. I want to live to 100 plus years old, but I want to be moving around, cognitively enhanced and with it, and having a great life. And I want that for my wife and my family and my siblings and my friends and all of you in our community, right? Like I want that for everyone. And I want to get to 100 plus healthy. And then my daughter's generation, maybe that are at 120 plus healthy. But I want to be a part of that and I want to share it with you. And so that's what I do. So when I say, listen, should you skip breakfast or dinner? Like I'm going to give you not the popular answer, but I'm going to give you the real answer, the one that's actually unbiased. All right. So check that out. That was episode 2512. And again, all of those are at stephencabral.com/podcasts. You can search 2,500 plus shows for your topic right there. Now, let's get into today's show. All the links will be at stephencabral.com/2513. You might see a little trend here. They're all going up by one number. All right. So all kidding aside, my product review for the week is a standing desk. I alluded to that at the beginning of the show. The one, well, I'll give you the one that I chose in just a moment, but there's a lot of standing desks out there. So why am I late to the party? Why did I decide just to get a standing desk now when they've been popular for the last, well, at least 5 to 7 years. Some people, they were ahead of the curve 10 years ago. The reason was this, is that I was always moving, like always going. So until 2019, like halfway through the year, so I had 2 practices, right? So I had a practice, and they were like a half a mile to a mile away from each other. And during the day, I'd be walking back between the 2 different locations. And it was only on Wednesday did I go into the office at 6:30 a.m. and not get home until about 7:30 p.m. That was my long day. The other days I had fairly normal days. And certainly if I was working with a fitness-based client, it might start earlier. But by that time, I had already transitioned 90+% just to functional medicine, integrative health since about 2010. And so that was that. So I always got in tons of steps. Like I was just walking all the time. I didn't need a standing desk. Like you're allowed to sit sometimes, right? And I did my workouts. So I still did my workouts 3-4 times a week in the gym. But since the pandemic, like many other people, everything has really become virtual. And so everything for me is basically at my desk. So what am I doing? Well, first thing in the morning, I do 8 a.m. calls, standing calls with my team. So I do a walk and talk. I am doing meetings. My daughters leave for school, and I am walking and talking, doing those meetings. They're typically on Slack or just phone. We don't need to do video chat. If we need to, I do that a little bit later. So I'm walking for anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes every single morning. It's a great way for me to start my day. Okay, but then, left to my own, typical schedule, I could be seated until around 4:35 when I'm going to go do my workout. So that's still a lot of time, right? That's 8 hours. So what I said was this, is like, I usually get in my afternoon walk, my after lunch, I shouldn't say afternoon, after lunch walk. So there's no doubt about that. But things have also been like great, but wildly busy at work and so many meetings, and some of them I have to be at my desk. So I've instituted a standing desk. I said I am going to make sure I'm on my feet more often, getting up, moving around. There's a lot of extenuating circumstances. I just moved into a new home. I need to be here to help with whatever it might be, just popping in, popping out. So again, like I'm working from home right now. I usually always have a separate office, but I have my office here is basically a guest room. So it's working. It's fine. It's all good, but I need to always be cognizant. I can't literally sit for 10 hours a day. We need to get up. We need to move. So that's what I do. And I got this standing desk, and I should say this. I love the one that I got. And it's on Amazon. I don't know if there's another place to get it. It's called ER Gear or Gear, and it's adjustable electric desk. Here's why I bought it though. I bought the 63-inch by 28-inch. If you don't know how big a desk is, this is a big desk. This is a big desk, okay? And that is because I find myself, the last desk I had was 55 inches wide, which is still pretty wide. This one's even wider. By the end of my day, I accumulate so much stuff on it. I said to myself, listen, your end of day, it's basically like net zero, nothing's left on your desk. And that's what I do, and it's actually been really nice. Plus, I have a 48-inch monitor. It's huge, but it allows me to do the research that I want. So with a 48-inch monitor, you can get it basically almost six, as it's on a diagonal, 8.5 by 11. Yeah, that's 6. You can get 6 documents. I can have 6 basically pages documents open, research. So when I'm doing research, when I'm writing a new course, when I'm doing education for the integrative health practitioners or anything, I keep PubMed, different research windows open. I have an internet tab. I've got, and then basically, how I write is I have multiple pages open. So I go from outline to then my actual document. That's my process. And this is so helpful, so beneficial. Plus, my whole podcast setup fits on this one desk. So I totally streamlined everything. I got rid of my big lights for podcasting. I've got these tiny little lights now. It all works fantastic. And what this desk does is I can still say seated. Like I need a normal desk for that. So this one has 3 settings. And I have my 1 as my standing height. So it's just easy to program. You literally press the S button at the height that you like. Boom, it's set. Now I press the number 1 and it goes right up to standing. And then I have specific meetings. If I'm on a meeting, I do standing. Like that's basically how I kind of get myself up. Like boom, just press 1, you're up. Number 2 is my seated height. And then number 3, I don't have a need for it. But what I found out is like, again, your kids will oftentimes model what you do. So my daughter has a standing height desk that she likes and she puts it at number 3. She's a little older now. She's getting into 5th grade and she's able now, she has got a lot more homework. She can stand at the desk. She likes to stand and she does her work there. So it's really nice. And that's what it's all about. Because again, you want your kids to mimic good behaviors and basically this is a work desk and she's welcome to use it after dinner as well. And so that's what we do. Again, it's a great desk. I can highly recommend it. It took 30 minutes to put it together. They basically give you all the tools you need, which is an Allen wrench, except for a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver. So this helps your glucose levels, standing up more during the day, overall health. And yeah, I can definitely give you a thumbs up on it and 5 stars so far. Like it's worked great. I've had it for a couple weeks. So I'll link it up. I'm going to share some, if you're not following me on Instagram, check out the stories. I'll be sharing some stories today. And head on over to stephencabral.com/2513 for the specific desk that I'm recommending. All right, let's get into 2 research studies for the day. The first one is twin study links exercise to beneficial epigenetic changes. And this has to do with exercise. Let me pull that back up for you. This was done, literally it was done like 2 weeks ago published 2 weeks ago out of the Washington State University. I'm going to give you the summary. Consistent exercise can change not just waistlines, meaning losing weight, but the very molecules in the human body that influence how genes behave. A new study of twins, so they're looking at identical twins, indicates the study found that more physically active siblings in identical twins pairs had lower signs of metabolic disease measured by waist size and body mass index. Just to take a little side, metabolic disease are all the things that cause an early death. Basically, high cholesterol, triglycerides, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. It's a recipe for disaster in the human body. So they measured waist size and BMI. That's how they correlated it. Let's see. They looked at differences in their epigenomes, the molecular process that are around DNA and the independent DNA sequence, but influence DNA expression. So basically it means what you do in your life changes the DNA expression. And I've tried to teach this every single day on the Cabral concept, meaning that everybody is predisposed to some dis-ease in their body, oftentimes an autoimmune issue, but you don't have to have it if you do not allow for those genes to express themselves. All right, so the more active twins had epigenetic marks linked to lower metabolic syndrome, a condition that can lead to, which I just stated, heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes. The identical twins have the same genetics. The study suggests that the markers of metabolic disease are strongly influenced by how a person interacts with their environment as opposed to just their inherited genetics? Well, yes, I believe that is correct, right? We've been saying that for a long time. So this was done on 70 pairs of identical twins, which I love these studies, by the way, because it's looking at the genome, it's looking at genomics versus epigenomics, or it's looking at the genotype versus the phenotype. The phenotype is what we become. And lo and behold, Ayurveda has been talking about this for 6,000 years. The Prakriti, that's our genes, and the Vikriti, how those genes express themselves. So I would love to share this with you, the study, but basically, if you don't want to read it over, it's okay as well. One pair was doing 150 minutes a week of exercise. You've heard that number from me before. It's 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, or 40 minutes a day, 4 days a week, and I will be sharing that in the upcoming program that I'll be talking about in late January, early February. But that's it. That's the marker. You don't even have to do anything fancy, honestly. Some cardio, a little bit of weight training. It can be body weight training as well, moderately to vigorous exercise, and that's it. Again, like, I don't know. I don't know that there's secrets out there. It's just like, how many different studies do we need to say we need to follow that de-stress protocol, right? Diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional balance, scientifically backed supplements, and a success mindset. That will get you to the destination of healthy beyond 100, right? That's what it's all about. All right, second, so, please, if exercise is not a part of your routine already, let's get in the 30 minutes, 5 days a week, or 40 minutes, 4 days a week for the new year. No doubt about it. You can do that. Get an accountability partner. It's free if it's a friend or family member, or invest in a personal trainer where you are accountable to them to basically get in that gym or personal training studio and make it happen, all right? And again, over 50 to 70 free workouts inside of the Ayubowen app as well by EquiLife. So definitely check that out. All right. And if you're unfamiliar with that, go to stephencabral.com/Ayubowen. And that's AYUBOWAN. All right. We'll try to link that up at 2513 today. Last research study for the day. Biological explanation why upper respiratory infections are more common in colder weather. I've actually shared a separate study. It was probably like 2-3 years ago. But basically, let me give you the breakdown. And this is one of the reasons why the cold and the flu are more prevalent during colder months. It's not the only reason. Typically, people are getting less vitamin D as well, which does matter, right? So this was done at the Mass Eye and Air. That's literally a hospital that is maybe, or was maybe, a half a mile away from my wellness center in Boston. This was actually published the same day as the previous study, just totally different by coincidence, just a couple weeks ago. But researchers at the Mass Eye and Air in Northeastern University have discovered a previous unidentified immune response inside the nose that fights off viruses responsible for upper respiratory infections. Further testing revealed this protective response becomes inhibited in colder temperatures, making infection more likely to occur. By the way, this is the COVID virus. This is flu virus. All of those absolutely do count. Again, I talked about this. There was a 2018 study with looking at the same thing, but this is the innate, that means inborn into us, like our bodies naturally produce it, immune response, and it's triggered when bacteria or a virus enters our nose. And that is the main way, basically, viruses are spread, not through the mouth and not through the eyes, but mainly through the nose. And so what happens is we have viruses that enter into the nose, and typically there's moisture, there's fluid there that has natural secretory IgA, so immunoglobulins, IgE, and it's helping us as our first line defense. While in colder weather, there is a shrinking of that membrane, and there are less immunoglobulins able to attack the actual virus particles that come into the nose. So they looked at this from different sets of volunteers, and they found that even just 15 minutes, believe it or not, of cold, where the temperature fell, I think it was at least 5 degrees Celsius, they had it at 39.9 degrees Fahrenheit, they applied the reduction, and they found a blunted immune response. So again, what does this mean? It means that just like in traditional Chinese medicine, they basically told people, like, listen, you don't want to get a chill, you don't want to lower your core body temperature, your body temperature in general. It does weaken your immune system. So I actually shared this with a private client of mine that when you have an acute-based illness, doing a small amount of cold can raise your immune response. There's no doubt about it. However, if you get a chill, you actually lower immune response. So for like overall immunity, I'm actually not the biggest advocate of using cold at that time. I actually much prefer heat and dry sauna, so infrared sauna or dry sauna. Much bigger fan of that, as the heat of the body will help to also boost the immune system and improve circulation. So I'm a much bigger advocate of that. Again, I'm not talking negatively about cold, but I do think that there's a lot more advocacy that should be done for heat over cold in most conditions, and cold can be done by stronger constitutions and stronger time to make them even stronger through that hermetic-based response. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, for those who like to nerd out on this stuff like I do, I'm going to link all these studies up at stephencabral.com/2513. I appreciate your time here today. I'll be back tomorrow answering your questions on the Cabral House Calls. And once again, enjoy this special time of the year. I appreciate you. I thank you. And I'll be back this weekend, like I said, with those Cabral House Calls. All right, take care, everybody.